Hey everybody, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and NPD by somebody that has both. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and do all the socially things scrolling past you on the screen right now. Today's an easy one. And I don't know if this will be of interest to all of you, but there's definitely some of you out there that need to hear some of this. So feel free to skip if you're a more experienced BPD NPD person. This is for the beginner. I see a lot of posts on Reddit and Discord and all over the internet really from people saying something like, I've just been diagnosed with BPD. I feel horrible. What do I do? And I thought I'd tell you. So, first of all, congratulations really. You've been diagnosed with something. Do you know how hard it is to do that? You have just won, basically. As far as I'm concerned, it's not great that you've got BPD or NPD, but as they say, knowing is half the battle. It's actually more than half, in my opinion, especially with the NPD. If you've come to the conclusion or been diagnosed by a mental health professional with NPD, wow, you can start getting better now. The same goes for the BPD as well. This is the point. This is why I'm happy for you. Because now you can actually start this journey. And you couldn't do that before. Because here's the thing, right? You had BPD yesterday too. And the day before, and the day before that. And probably many days before this diagnosis. Only the difference was between those days and today is that today, you know what it is and you can start doing something about it. How is that a bad thing? That's amazing. Because, as I say, not only do you know what it is, but the most crucial part is now you can start doing something about it. When I found out what was wrong with me, it was amazing. It was, that in itself was life-changing. That was a pivotal moment in my life, and a positive one at that. And now you've had that, and now you can start to get better. And so you wonder, what can I do now? Right. Well, the first thing to do is seek therapy. I'm hoping that if you've been diagnosed, then you're kind of already in therapy. But seek therapy. That's going to be easy or hard, depending on where in the world you live and what resources you have. I don't know. It took me a long time to get to it because I went through a lot of incorrect diagnoses. But you might have different luck. I don't know. And my number one advice always is seek out a medical professional in these cases. This YouTube stuff is great. It can find you stuff that you relate to and maybe tips and tricks on living your life and that sort of thing. But there's nobody online who is a substitute for actual therapy. I cannot stress that enough. I know nothing. I'm an idiot with a microphone and a camera, right? Take some advice from me, perhaps, but never, ever, ever see this as a substitute for actual help. That's so important and so crucial. I cannot stress that enough. Now, the important thing is, the best thing with this treatment is that this isn't, it's not like going through chemo, you know? Right? This isn't a treatment that is going to physically destroy you and hurt and be a very difficult, life-changing thing in itself. The therapy for this is talking about how you feel and asking yourself the question, why do I feel like that? We can do that, right? That's pretty easy. And some people might do it in a group. Some people might do it individually. You might choose to pursue a different method of therapy altogether. I hear some people have great results with DBT and CBT. They weren't for me, but that doesn't mean they're bad or don't work. I think it's important in these cases that, or it seems to be to me, that people find the right kind of treatment. And all of them really pretty much involve talking. It's so amazing to do. And as much as you think you do it, you don't really yet. It's difficult to explain. There's a new way of doing it, a better way of analysing how you feel and talking about it. And if you can find other people to talk about it with, like a therapy group, so much the better. Friends are great. Family are amazing. But there's work to be done here. And in our therapy, we're doing this work. And if there are other people involved, we're asking them to do the work with us. And that's all well and good if they're a therapy group with other people with their own problems to work through. And you all work through things as a group. But friends, family, they're not working on a thing. They're not going through a similar thing to you. They can't necessarily relate to it. It's a burden. It's hard. And so while we think, well, I have friends I can talk to whenever I want, I've got that's great. And you do need those things. But there's no substitute for a therapist, for a therapy group, for other people who are going through a thing like you, to hear their experiences. Even if it's something you can't relate to, you're there to support somebody, and that in itself is part of it. It's all part of it, and it's something I encourage you to seek out as much as possible. But the key here is, what my advice is now you've been diagnosed, is to read a little bit about it, do a tiny bit of research, and start to pick at some threads. Start to pick at the threads of why you feel like you feel. Fears, that sort of thing. It's a beginning. Again, I'm telling you what worked for me. I'm telling you what I found beneficial and how it came about in my own experience. And that may not work for you. That's why the therapy is so important. That's why a medical professional is so important. I can't work with you, and neither can anyone else on YouTube. And it's entirely feasible that in doing this on your own, you could lead yourself down a wrong path. You could think you have problems that you don't have. You can convince yourself of things on your own. And having other people there to call you out on that, to be accountable to, is so beneficial. I can't tell you. I mean, it's essential. Which is, again, I recommend therapy so damn much. But I think the key is to not panic. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you've got a diagnosis. You are on that journey now. You've taken a first step. And you're going to get better. Because you want to get better, because you've got this diagnosis. However you feel, whatever these emotions are that are piling on top of you at the moment, you may even be in the throes of suicidal ideation, for all I know. You could be feeling horrible. But look at what you've done. You've managed to get some help. You've managed to look into whatever it is that's making you feel bad. And you found something that sounds like you, or you've had a therapist tell you something. You've made that effort. And you didn't do that because you've given up. You did that because you want to get better, right? Otherwise you wouldn't care. Otherwise, why are you even watching me? If you don't want to get better, if you're done, if you've had enough, or whatever, however you're feeling, why are you watching? Why do you care? So the truth is, you do. You do want to get better. You do care. You do want all of these horrible feelings that you have to come to an end. And if you've got that diagnosis, there is the light at the end of the tunnel. Now you're not dealing with something random, with depression, with whatever you've been told in the past, whatever you felt like in the past, these weird feelings that you know aren't right and you shouldn't be having, but there they are. They found a name for what's wrong with you, and it's BPD or NPD. So don't panic. Always good advice, that, really, I suppose. Just don't panic. You can do this, and you can get better. There. See, I can do some positive words of encouragement from time to time. Perhaps when I'm in a better mood myself like this. There's always optimism, right? And however dark it gets, however bad we feel, we're trying. And we can hold on to that. And know that we'll make it through. Because we're going to keep trying. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I'll see you later. Bye.